into the bathroom. You're talking about the doorknob, right?
Huh? The doorknob? What doorknob?
You're a doorknob.
The doorknob for my bathroom. It was completely broken. See how the top part was unscrewed? And the doorknob's about ready to fall off?
Oh yeah, true. But what does it mean?
In trying to bypass the lock, they ended up nearly removing the entire doorknob. This is another most bewildering act for the room's owner. It proves Makoto is beyond suspicion.
So what? You're saying he wouldn't break the door in his own room? But if the only choice you have is to break it, you break it. There's nothing bewildering about it.
Why would he have to break it, though?
You still don't see? Okay then. Let's take another look at how the incident unfolded. Hopefully that will help you understand.
Kyoko said it was a bewildering act. I almost didn't notice it at first, but is that the key point here? There's a bit more to learn about non-stop debates. Would you like to hear more? Sure. From here on out, the number of weak spots will start going up. No! Oh no, I missed that. What I'm trying to say is, not all weak spots you see are necessarily false. Use a truth bullet on the wrong one, and not only will you fail to refute what they said, but you'll also lower your trust with everyone, and your influence gauge will take damage. Can I save here? Fuck! Now this is important, because if your influence gauge reaches 0, you fail. You'll only have to rely on your own logic to determine... you'll have to, which is... Well then, good luck and have fun! I gotta remember to start saving in between those things, just in case. Make my argument. Bathroom door frame.
The incident took place in Makoto's room. Sayaka was first attacked in the main
Wrong!
room.
No kidding.
She then fled into the bathroom.
Then the killer ran after her. And they got into the bathroom.
At that point, the killer had to try and bust down the door. Because Sayaka had locked it.
And finally, the culprit had Sayaka cornered.
And to finish the job, they stabbed her with the kitchen knife.
It was you, wasn't it, Makoto? Admit it. We already know the answer.
Do you? Do you really? It's not because the door was locked. No, there's a different reason entirely.
The incident took place in Sayaka was first attacked. She then fled into the bathroom. Then the killer ran after and they got into the bathroom. At that point, the
killer had to try because Sayaka had locked it.
No, that's wrong. The reason my bathroom didn't open wasn't because it was locked. After all, the girls' rooms are the only ones with walking bathrooms, right?
Yes, now that you mention it, that is true.
Then why didn't your bathroom door open?
Because it was stuck.
Huh? What are you talking about?
My bathroom door doesn't fit in the frame quite right. Monokuma over there can testify to that.
Yup, true as true can be. But you know, you're supposed to be the ultimate lucky student, right? But to have such a cruddy door, that's not lucky at all.
So the reason the door didn't open was just because it was stuck. But the killer didn't know that and assumed it was locked. So they tore apart the doorknob to get in.
Okay, but then why would the killer even think the door was locked in the first place? Everyone should have known you can't lock any of the boys' bathrooms.
The killer could easily make that mistake, thanks to one important detail about the scene of the crime.
The killer was convinced the bathroom door was locked, so they didn't know that the door actually couldn't be locked. In other words, the important detail about the scene of the crime that they didn't know was...
I got it! The killer must not have realized that it was my room.
What? Are you saying the culprit didn't even know where he was? That's inconceivable!
And yet, he's absolutely right.
Say what?
Well, to be more specific, what the killer didn't know was that Makoto and Sayaka had switched rooms, which is what led to the misunderstanding about the bathroom. If Sayaka had been in her own room, then
there would have been a lock on the door, and they would have had to break through!
So they had no idea how unnecessary their actions were.
ultimately, we can't know if it came open by force or simply by accident. But the killer must have been considerably confused, with no idea how they actually got the door opened.
Regardless, it was a pointless act. Wasting time trying to break down a door that wasn't locked is...
definitely something I wouldn't do, since I would have known exactly why it wasn't opening, right?
That is a definite possibility.
So the killer would have to be someone who didn't know they'd switched rooms?
Then Makoto couldn't have done it.
That's what I've been trying to tell you.
Okay, then who did do it?
I'm sorry, but I give up! Quit without saving!
Speaking of saving.
But what happens if we can't decide on who we think did it?
Well, why don't we just vote right now? Majority rules!
No!
Majority rules? You really think that's a good idea?
Yeah, our necks are on the line here. Someone seriously needs to do something. For serious.
Does no one have any other thoughts or questions? It does not matter how trivial they may seem.
Oh, as a matter of fact, I do have one question.
Oh, you...
You don't gotta sound so disappointed.
It's fine, it's fine. Just ask your question.
Oh yeah. Okay, so, well, I was just wondering, how did the culprit get into Makoto's room in the first place?
Yes. How did the killer get inside?
Maybe Sayaka just dropped the key somewhere and the culprit picked it up. That's possible, right?
I don't think so. That seems way too convenient.
Then maybe someone picked the lock?
Negative! If you remember, Monokuma made it quite clear that the locks are all unpickable.
Fine. How about this? The killer got in the easy way. They could have knocked and said they wanted to talk or something, and Miss Maizono just let him in.
No, that can't be it either.
Oh, trying to argue against me? Sounds like someone doesn't know his place. Hello? Why exactly can't that be it?
Because she asked me to do something in particular, I totally missed that. That's the answer right there, sorry. There's no way Sayaka let someone in, because...
I got it! Because Sayaka was already scared, remember? That's why she asked me to switch rooms in the first place.
The same goes for you, Sayaka. No matter who it is, don't open your door for anyone.
Even if I'm sure it's you, I absolutely won't open it. Otherwise, what's the point of even switching?
Knowing what she'd been through, I just can't believe she would have opened the door for anyone.
What if her being scared was a lie?
Huh? Well, what the hell is that supposed to mean? Why would she lie about something like that?
I know you don't want to consider it, but look at this and tell me. Can you still deny the possibility?
There's something I want to talk to you about, just us two. In 5 minutes, come see me in my room. Check the nameplates to make sure you don't get the room wrong, okay?
I found a notepad during my search, and I shaded in the top sheet with a pencil. And these are the words that appeared.
Oh man! I've totally seen people do that on detective shows. When you write, it can leave an imprint. Sketch over the next sheet of paper, and you can see the words. When I saw that, I was like, holy crap! I better make sure I rip the paper out before I use it from now on.
It's a pretty old-fashioned technique, but even the classics can be surprisingly useful sometimes. Oh, and I should also mention, I found the notepad on the desk in Makoto's room.
Huh?
Which means only someone who had been in Makoto's room before the incident could have written it.
Then either it was Makoto who lived there, or Sayaka who switched rooms for a single night.
So, Makoto, did you write this?
No, I didn't. But
of course you didn't, because the note also bears a perfectly legible signature. Sayaka's signature.
Then that note. Sayaka wrote it?
But why? Why would she write that?
The note was likely her way of getting in touch with a certain someone. She must have slid it under their door to let them know she wanted to meet with them in secret.
If you got an invitation like that from the ultimate pop sensation, what young man could resist?
Of course, I'm only into 2D, so it wouldn't have any effect on me.
But can we be sure anyone even got this note? And honestly, even if they did, I do not think they are at all involved in what happened.
Huh? What makes you say that?
Would you like to hear what I have to say? Very well then, pay attention. Sayaka and Makoto switched rooms, correct? But in the note, the place they were asked to come to, it specifically says, my room.
I see. So if someone read that note, then they would have gone to Sayaka's room.
Exactly. The room that Makoto was staying in. So in other words, even if someone did read the note and did what it said, they would not have any connection to what happened.
It certainly would seem that way.
The killer went to my room instead of Sayaka's, and the reason for that is it has to be because of what got switched between me and Sayaka's room.
Sayaka and Makoto switched rooms, correct?
Oops, I didn't mean to use that.
But in the note, the place they were asked to come to, it specifically says, my room.
I see. So if someone read that
I
note,
feel like
then they would have gone to Sayaka's room.
Exactly. The room that
No, that's wrong! The nameplates on Mai and Sayaka's rooms got switched.
They got switched?
That's right. The nameplates got switched, just like the rooms themselves. As a result, the nameplate on Sayaka's room actually had Makoto's name. And the nameplate on Makoto's room had Sayaka's.
So what you're saying is, the room Sayaka was staying in was actually marked as her room.
Then, if someone did do what the note said, they would end up at Makoto's room where Sayaka was.
Plus, their rooms are right next to each other, so switching the nameplates would be no problem. And the one who switched the names was... Well, of course it wasn't you, right, Makoto?
Right?
Okay, then who did it?
there's only one person who could have switched the nameplates. The only person who knew we had switched rooms.
I got it! Me and Sayaka were the only ones who ever knew about us switching rooms. So the only other person besides me who would even know to switch the nameplates was Sayaka.
You can also infer as much from her note.
There's something I want to talk to you about, just us two. In 5 minutes, come see me in my room. Check the nameplates to make sure you don't get the wrong room, okay?
She specifically tells the reader to check the nameplate. She would only have written that if she knew the nameplates had been switched.
But why would she switch them in the first place?
She wanted someone to come to the room she was in, and also hide the fact that it was Makoto's room.
Whoa, Mondo, chill.
What?
Inviting someone to your room, but not telling them you'd switched rooms. Why would anyone do that?
To understand that, we first need to understand what happened after she invited the person into the room. That's where the answer lies.
What happened then was probably whoever she invited over came in and attacked her. We figured it out! We know who did it! Whoever she invited over is the culprit!
But we still don't know who it is, you goddamn idiot!
Sayaka fought with her killer there in the room, yes? Perhaps the answer to our previous question lies in that initial struggle.
Yes, I think you're right.
Then... we just have to figure out what happened during the fight, right?
That reminds me. There was a replica sword at the murder scene. Was that perhaps used during the fight?
Oh yeah. What's the deal with that sword?
Sayaka suggested I should hold on to it. I thought it might come in handy if I had to defend myself. It seems pretty likely that the killer used it to break Sayaka's right wrist.
How the hell could you possibly know that's what broke her wrist?
The reason I know Sayaka's wrist was broken with the fake sword is because... I mean, look at her wrist, there's no doubt.
I got it! All you have to do is take a good look at her broken wrist, and it should become pretty clear. Right there where her wrist is all swollen, there's something glittery there. See?
Is that gold?
It sure is. Specifically, the gold coating from the replica sword. You barely have to touch that stuff, and it'll stick right to you. And there's some on her wrist because...
I got it! Because she got hit with the sword! Right there on her wrist!
I see. And so the truth draws ever closer.
Alright, then it's about time to solve this mystery.
What happened in my room? And what led to Sayaka's death? That's what we need to make clear. There's a bit more to learn about non-stop debate. Oh my god. Are you getting used to these non-stop debates? Starting with the next debate, I'll start loading multiple truth bullets into your truth cylinder. But just like with the weak spots, only one of those bullets can actually refute the proper statement. In other words, from here on out, you'll have to combine the right truth bullet with the right weak spot to refute each statement. If you come up with the wrong combination, you'll take damage to your influence gauge. You can press the L button to rotate the cylinder and choose which bullet to fire. Press and release the R button to cycle through each bullet. Or you can hold down the L button and then use select. By the way, if the logic difficulty is set to kind, fewer bullets will be loaded into the cylinder. For our purposes this time, the logic difficulty will be set to mean. Well then, good luck and have fun. Oh my god. Don't do it! What are you doing?
When the fighting broke out, the culprit grabbed the sword, and that's when the first blow was dealt. A sword-based sneak attack!
And that's what broke Miss Maizono's wrist!
So, she tried to fight back. She grabbed the kitchen knife she had hidden away.
But then the culprit took that from her too.
And they killed her with it.
And that's exactly what happened.
If the person with the sword really did attack first, there's no explanation for how a certain part of the sword got damaged.
When the fighting broke out, the culprit grabbed the sword, and that's when the first blow was dealt. A sword-based sneak attack!
No, that's wrong! Actually, no. I don't think the fight started with the sword.
Why not?
Because I said so.
Because the sword's sheath had been scratched. See? There's a gash in it. Like someone cut into it with something sharp.
Something sharp? You mean like the kitchen knife? That was the only sharp thing found at the scene.
Stop jumping ahead. Slow down and explain what the hell's going on.
If the sword was used first, there wouldn't be any explanation for the scratch on the sheath. If you are going to attack with the sword, you'd take it out of the sheath first, right?
That's true. With the sheath on, it'd be heavy and bulky and useless as shit.
Okay, so how did the sheath get damaged?
If they got attacked with the kitchen knife, maybe they grabbed the sword as a defensive impulse. In that situation, there wouldn't be any time to actually unsheath the sword.
So you're saying the sword was initially used to defend against an attack from the knife?
Which means whoever had the kitchen knife was the one who attacked first.
I think I get it! So here's how it all played out. The culprit came in, found the kitchen knife hidden there somewhere. Then they took the knife and attacked Sayaka before she knew what was happening. So she grabbed the sword to defend herself, but then the culprit took that from her too. Then, after they broke her wrist with the sword, they took the knife and finished it.
Sorry, but I don't think Sayaka used the sword to defend herself.
What? How the hell can you not think that?
Because she never held the sword at all. There's a certain part of her body that makes this clear.
The part of her body that shows she never used the sword. If you wanted to use a sword, which part of your body would have to touch it?
I got
Your
it!
stomach.
You're talking about her palms, right? The palms of her hands were perfectly clean, so I don't think she ever picked up the sword.
How can you know that just by looking at her palms?
Like I said before, the gold coating on that sword comes right off. All you have to do is touch it. In fact, if you look, you'll notice that a lot of the gold has already come off the handle. It's safe to assume that's because whoever used the sword got some of it on their hands. There's really no way she could have picked it up and come away completely clean.
Maybe she washed her hands after she escaped into the bathroom.
Sorry, but I don't think so.
Why do you say that? Is it because you think I'm ugly?
Yes, exactly. No.
No, that's not it at all.
Jeez. Totally related. There's no way Sayaka washed the gold coating off her hands because there's a certain regulation that talks about what happens to the bathroom at night. Water can't remove it. She's afraid of water.
I got it! According to the Monokuma file, Sayaka's time of death was around 1:30 a.m. In other words, at nighttime. And the water in the bathroom shuts off at nighttime, right?
Oh, I didn't know that. Actually, I haven't taken a shower here yet.
Oh my.
You're no different. You smell like a big fat ugly donkey.
Wow.
I'm not sure whether to take that as an insult or a compliment.
An insult, obviously.
So anyway, if Sayaka never touched the sword, then that means the killer is the only one who used the sword. But hold on. If that's right, then the one who damaged the sheath with the kitchen knife was...
The one who damaged the sheath would have to have been the one without the sword.
I got it! Sayaka? She had the kitchen knife?
But we already said that the attack started with...
The person with the knife attacked first, and the sword was used as an impromptu defense.
Then the one who attacked first was...
You're crazy, Jonah.
Sayaka?
Now do you understand? She wasn't a blameless victim in this.
No, far from it. It's almost as if she'd been planning to commit a murder of her own.
What?
She took the knife from the kitchen, then invited the culprit to the room she was staying in. And if it's true that she had the kitchen knife and attacked without provocation...
Indeed. These are all the actions of an assailant.
Which brings up another point. Makoto, Sayaka was the one who suggested you two switch rooms, correct? Maybe the reason she wanted to switch rooms was so that she could pin the crime on you. That is a possibility. is it not?
Sayaka wanted to... on me?
That would also explain why she would switch the nameplates. She wanted to get whoever she had targeted to come to Makoto's room where she was staying. And by committing the murder there, instead of her room, that would implicate Makoto. But for that to work, the target had to be lured out while still keeping the room swap a secret. If the target knew she had switched rooms, they would have become suspicious right away.
So all that's why she switched the names?
But doesn't that plan seem a little risky? For one thing, even if her plan worked, Mr. Naegi would just tell everyone they'd switched rooms.
I don't know. I'm not sure our soft-hearted Makoto is capable of that kind of cutthroat behavior. I'm sure Sayaka realized the same thing, which is why out of all of us, she asked him to switch rooms.
Plus, she was the ultimate pop sensation. A totally forgettable kid. Or a national superstar. Who are you more likely to believe?
Wait, then you're saying she had this all planned out?
Holy shit!
But in the end, her plan backfired. She launched her attack with the knife, then found herself under attack in turn. That must be when her wrist got broken, and she was forced to drop the knife.
The tables were suddenly turned on her, and she died at the hands of the one she'd planned to murder.
Just hold on! That can't be true! Because...
Hey! You guys have totally derailed the argument! You're being super boring right now. Come on, hurry up and decide who did it! Wouldn't it be awful if I had to punish you all just because you ran out of time?
Oh yeah, we gotta decide who we think did it.
Makoto, right now you just need to concentrate on figuring out the answer to this mystery. If we can't uncover who murdered Sayaka, it's over for all of us.
Is it really over? Obviously I'm committed to finding out who killed her, but what can I do? I mean, as far as clues go, there's nothing left. There's nothing left? Makoto, there's nothing left?
It's easy just to say, hey, decide who did it. But there just aren't any more clues, right?
Very well. Then let's review all the clues we've found up to this point one more time.
Do we really have time for all that?
Die! If we don't do something, we're all gonna die!
Exactly. There's still one clue left, I'm sure of it. Sayaka left it on the wall she was leaning up against.
It's easy just to say, hey, decide who did it. But there just aren't any more clues, right?
No, that's wrong. There still might be one clue left. Sayaka's dying message.
Dining? Wait, what did you say?
Dining.
The dying message.
Thanks, Junpei.
She wrote something on the wall behind her, remember? 11037. Written in her own blood. There must be a clue about the killer hidden in there.
Well, before we get too far into that, I need to ask, can we really be sure that Sayaka is the one who wrote it?
Can you be sure of your face? There's no question that Sayaka wrote that message, and I can prove it.
I got it! Her left index finger had blood on it. That could only be because she used that finger to write the message.
I see. She broke her right wrist during the fight, so she'd have to use her left hand to write.
Sure. I think we can all agree Sayaka wrote it. But still, what the heck do those numbers mean? 11037?
Hey, Chihiro. You're a computer nerd or whatever, right? You should know all about numbers and shit.
No, that's not... Yes, I'm a programmer, but I don't see any kind of meaning in these numbers.
Of course. It's because they're not numbers.
Sorry, haven't saved in a while, so...
Oh, yeah, it looks like...
Huh? What?
No, it's just look at the numbers, assuming they're not numbers. Don't these first two, 1-1, look less like two numbers and more like one letter?
Ah, you're right. The connecting line is barely there, so I assumed it was 1-1, but looking at it now, you could also read it as an N.
Well...
Whoa, you might have finally just said something worth a shit.
Our little gray cells are really getting excited now.
But even if that really is an N, N037, doesn't make any more sense than before.
Damn it, it's no use. I just don't know.
Rotate the image 180 degrees.
Rotate it? I think maybe I see something.
Oh my god. Now I see. She wrote down the killer's name.
Huh? You just shot past the clue part and right onto who did it.
So, whose name did she write?
Dumbledore the Explorer. Sayaka's dying message reveals the real killer's name. If you turn her message 180 degrees, it should become crystal clear.
Here's my answer. The key to solving this mystery was simply to rotate the writing 180 degrees. If you turn the message around, it becomes the letters L-E-O-N.
11.
L-E-O-N. Or more accurately, Leon.
What the hell are you talking about? It's just a coincidence. It's just a bunch of random squiggles that happen to look like my name.
No, it's not random at all. She wrote that message on the wall behind her as she was leaning up against it. In that position, she couldn't move to write normally, and had to write upside down, as it were. And as a result, when you look at it standing in front of her, it ends up getting flipped. Try it for yourself if you want. Write something sitting like her, and the letters will be inverted.
That sounds like one hell of a stretch to me. I'm the killer? You can't just go and say shit like that.
If you're not the killer, then why did you try to destroy the evidence?
Huh?
You know what I'm talking about, right, Makoto? The evidence Leon tried to get rid of?
The evidence that Leon tried to get rid of. It's that thing I found on the ground in front of the incinerator, right?
I got it! You mean the burnt shirt piece I found laying on the ground by the incinerator, right?
As the killer stabbed Sayaka, they must have gotten some of her blood on them. And to dispose of the shirt covered in the victim's blood, they threw it into the incinerator.
But one piece burned off and got left behind.
And the killer didn't notice. If they had, they most certainly would have panicked. Isn't that right, Leon?
But is one scrap of fabric enough to conclude that Leon is guilty?
Yeah, I mean, Leon's not the only one wearing a white button-up.
That's right! There are plenty of other people here with shirts like mine. With just that one little charred piece, there's no way you can say for sure who it belongs to.
You're right. That alone isn't enough. But there are some other points that may reveal the truth.
Are you finally starting to understand? The answers to all the riddles are right here.
Yeah, I think so.
The burnt remains of the button-up shirt, which the killer wasn't able to get rid of. There's something about it we need to pay attention to in order to figure out who's responsible.
I got it! If you look closely at how the shirt was disposed of, we should be able to figure out who the killer is.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. I think I know what you're gonna say. You can't reach the incinerator without opening the gate in front of the trash room, right? And obviously, you wouldn't be able to hit the switch to turn it on either. You'd need the key to get in, and the one with the key was the person on cleaning duty. So the killer had to be whoever was in charge of taking care of the trash, right?
Interesting.
No, that's wrong. There was another way to use the incinerator without being the one on cleaning duty. And that's exactly what proves that Leon is the real killer. God damn it, Leon. How could you? Shattered crystal.
The key to the trash room. Whoever was on cleaning duty must have had it, right?
So the only one who could get to the incinerator was the person in charge of the trash?
And you'd have to get close to the incinerator in order to destroy the evidence.
Really?
Which means the only possible suspect is whoever had the trash room key.
Really?
Okay, so the person who would have had the trash room key was... Huh? Me? No!
There absolutely was a way to use the incinerator without using the trash room key. The killer was able to turn the incinerator on by using something I found on the ground nearby.
The key to the trash room. Whoever was on cleaning duty.
So the only one who... The person in charge of...
And you'd have to get close to the incinerator in order to...
No, that's wrong! Hold on. I think I know how someone could dispose of the evidence without using the trash room key.
But if you can't get past the gate, you couldn't possibly turn on the incinerator, could you?
Yes, you could. If you used this.
What is it, some kind of glass ball? It's busted to hell.
Actually, it was supposed to be a crystal ball, but,
But how would you use it?
The killer had to use the glass ball in a certain way, which was divine with it.
I got it! The killer simply took aim at the incinerator switch and threw the ball through a gap in the gate. All they had to do was hit that switch, and the incinerator would come to life.
Someone threw a gap in the gate?
Remember what you said before, Hifumi?
Huh? Someone turned the incinerator on? Very strange. I'm quite certain it was off last time I was down here. Perhaps it was the work of a fairy.
Hifumi had the key, so the only way the incinerator could have been turned on without his knowledge was because the killer was able to hit the switch without opening the gate.
I think, like, divine with it is like what you do with what they actually do with the crystal ball, which is like tell fortunes and stuff, like divination, divine.
Once they got the incinerator going, all they had to do was ball up the shirt and toss it in.
Not hard for a basketball player.
Hey, come on! What the hell is this?
All you have to do is look at the scene to know that the killer never actually went inside the trash room. The shards of broken glass, the incinerator left running, the piece of shirt that escaped
I thought that
the
said
fire.
the piece of shit. Oh my
If
god.
the killer had been on cleaning duty, the evidence would have been taken care of much more thoroughly.
Wait, no, just hold
Basketball
on.
player, baseball.
But the distance from the gate to the incinerator has to be at least 30 feet, right? To pinpoint accuracy, you'd need to throw a glass ball that far and hit something that small. Could someone really do that?
Yeah.
That's right. There's no way. It'd be impossible.
Difficult, absolutely. Impossible? I don't think so. Because the killer is...
The ultimate basketball, clearly. It wouldn't have been much of a challenge at all for the killer, because...
I got it! Because the killer is the ultimate baseball star. Isn't that right, Leon?
Do you have any idea how stupid you sound right now?
You turned down that sass, Mr. Naegi.
A target 30 feet away would surely be little challenge for the ultimate baseball star.
You can't be serious. I'm not the killer. These goddamn shit-for brains have got it all wrong, I'm telling you.
Shit for brains.
You still won't admit it? Okay then. Makoto, go ahead and review the incident one more time to make his crime perfectly clear.
Alright.
And with that,
that's my favorite
we
part.
can end this.
Listen to me! What the hell do you mean, end this?
Say what you want, Leon. But all the questions have been answered. And the truth has been revealed. Now here's what happened.
Love this. My favorite part. The closing argument is about to begin. Would you like to hear more? No. So this isn't like Dangan Ronpa 2, so okay. Just gotta remember. Wait, shitty balls though, I'm getting scared. No! Wait, no, come back here. This one. Let me go forward a bit. Wait, what did I just put? Hang on a second. Hang on a second. Blocked and then did that and then that. And then... This is weird though, because then... When did this... Dropped, ran... But then... Huh? Because then... Okay, no, I think I'm doing okay. And that... I don't like that it doesn't tell me right away. Wait a second. Wait a second. No, but then... No, I'm missing something. I have to be missing something. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Because then while... Store, blah blah blah. Stabby stab, bumps into thing, goes to stab, blocks the thing, holds up the sword, knocks that out of her hand. Does that not make sense? Because I mean it's right there. Oh, some of them aren't relevant! See, I'm not used to that. Because I played on the easy one before, so I'm not used to there being things that don't need to be there. Sorry about that. Okay, so... Let's try this again. So then he attacked, and she's like, ow, and then... Then what? Wait, but then, so she ran in there. Wait, so this... Ouchie. Correct, I hope? And, oh god, this is, oh, interesting. And then, yes, that's happened. And then she's all like, ow, man. And then she puts this. And then after that, he uses the and then this happened, and then... He's all like, Crystal ball, and then bloop, 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 and then bam, 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 and then this happened, and then... Wait, no, wait! This happened, and then this happened.
Here's exactly what happened. I think I'd better take one more look back at the case from the beginning. Last night, the killer went to the room Sayaka was in. In other words, my room. From what we can tell, Sayaka invited that person there intending to kill them.
Well, I just explained that I've only ever played the game on the easy difficulty the one time I played it, and they didn't have irrelevant things for the comics, so I didn't even notice there was irrelevant parts there. Though I did start to notice there was a bit more than there needed to be.
She attacked them with the knife she'd taken from the kitchen earlier.
What if I get one wrong, though? It's gonna ruin the whole story.
But then something happened that she wasn't prepared for. They grabbed the fake sword I put in my room and fought back. During the struggle, a strike from the sword broke Sayaka's right wrist.
Done.
And that's when she lost her grip on the kitchen knife. Finding herself cornered, Sayaka panicked and ran into the bathroom. The killer went after her, but couldn't get the bathroom door open. What they didn't know was that my bathroom door got stuck easily, and there was a trick to opening it. Sayaka knew about that because I told him, but of course the killer had no way of knowing. So instead, the killer forced the door open, took the kitchen knife, and stabbed Sayaka. But with what strength she had remaining, Sayaka left a dying message. To keep the killer from noticing, she wrote it on the wall behind her. And with that, all her strength was gone. With Sayaka dead, the killer quickly began destroying the evidence. First, they took off their shirt, which was covered in their victim's blood. Then they took the lint roller in my room and cleaned up the entire area.
Well, if you think, how did they get the blood above her head? She wasn't sitting when she got stabbed. She was stabbed, therefore blood splatter, and then she did, she's already injured, and then she's bleeding, and then she slides down the wall, and by the time she goes to sit, that approximates about by her head. So that's how the blood was around and above her head when she was in the sitting position.
They wanted to make sure they got rid of any trace they'd ever been there. Afterwards, the killer headed to the trash room to destroy their bloody shirt.
Trash room.
They tried to burn the shirt using the incinerator there.
That's their house.
But the trash room was blocked off by an especially sturdy gate, preventing access to the incinerator. So they came up with a plan to use Hiro's crystal ball, which he'd left in the laundry room. The killer managed to throw the ball through the gap in the gate and hit the incinerator switch. For any normal person, that'd be an impossible throw, but the killer had the confidence to take a shot, and that's because the killer was the ultimate baseball star. The crystal ball, thrown with absolute precision, hit the switch on the incinerator. which then quickly roared to life. Having destroyed the final piece of evidence, they left the area with, I imagine, a sigh of relief. But there was one thing they missed. Part of the shirt they'd thrown into the fire burnt away and fell out of the incinerator. The killer didn't notice this, and so left behind a piece of indisputable evidence. Isn't that right, Leon?
Now he's sassing you, Leon.
It would appear that Hiro simply forgot his crystal ball in the laundry room. You went there to try and wash the blood out of your shirt, and that's where you saw it, right? Seeing the ball, you thought of a way to take care of everything.
So, Leon, do you object to anything that's been said?
Do I object? Hell yes, I object! Of course I do! I object! I object! I object! I mean, all of this is just a bunch of stupid theories! You need evidence! Where's the evidence?
We literally presented all of it.
Without evidence, it's all bullshit! It's bullshit and I refuse to acknowledge it!
Well then, I guess this is as good a time as any to present the evidence that proves you did it. Makoto, I believe you're in possession of that evidence.
I have the evidence? Your first bullet time battle is about to begin. Would you like to hear more? Well, no, but yes. Sometimes during a class trial, your opponents simply won't want to hear what you have to say. When this happens, you'll engage them in a head-to-head battle. We like to refer to this as the bullet time battle, aka the BTB BTW. During the BTB, you want to destroy your opponent's statements in time with the rhythm. Match your button presses with each tempo marker as they move across the screen and reach the center. You can also... No, you can't. No, you can't. Stop it! Tap or press the X button to lock on to an opponent's statement. So... destroy the statement you've locked onto with the triangle button. Do this consecutively and you'll start a combo. Keep this going and you'll initiate a tempo up. On the flip side, if you keep missing, you'll get into a tempo down situation. When the tempo changes, so does the timing for hitting each button or tapping the screen, so watch out! Deal enough damage to your opponent and their weak spot statement will appear. You can also tap the hands to refuse to have it. Good luck!
When the killer removed the screws from the doorknob, they didn't use anything from your room to do it. Instead, they must have used something that belonged to them.
Aho, aho, aho! I missed that. They used something of their own to remove the screws. Could it have been...
I refuse to acknowledge you! You're stupid!
Thank you.
Stupid, stupid, stupid!
Thank you, Leon. That's very mature comments coming from you.
Stupid, 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 stupid!
Aho, 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 aho! I have to show indisputable evidence that Leon is the killer. I need to figure it out. Let's do this, Leon.
Where's your proof? You kidding me? Not a chance! It wasn't me! Stupid! You lie! Stop talking! Shut up! Where's your proof? You kidding me? Not a chance! You lie! Shut up! Where's your proof? You kidding me? Not a chance! It wasn't me! Where's your proof?
This should prove it! The screws on the bathroom doorknob were removed. I wonder what kind of tool the killer used to remove that.
I mean, it had to be a screwdriver, right?
Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure the toolkits we got each had one inside.
And that must be what he used. There aren't any other tools anywhere.
But the toolkit in my room had clearly never been used.
That's because the culprit didn't know it was your room. They thought they were in Sayaka's room.
Only the boys got toolkits, so the killer naturally assumed there wouldn't be one in there.
Okay, then whose toolkit did the killer use?
Stupid, stupid, stupid!
It had to be their very own toolkit.
Stupid, 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 stupid!
Leon, would you mind showing us your toolkit? If I'm right about this, then...
Just a theory. But my theory on why they might have changed it to stupid is because it's probably easier to say stupid, 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 stupid really, really, really fast. It probably flows better, too.
The screwdriver will show some evidence of being used.
Stupid, stupid, stupid!
Huh? And if you say you used it for something else, you'll have to explain exactly when, where, and why.
And let me say this right now. I lost it isn't an excuse at this point.
Stupid. Stupid.
Well, I don't know. I don't really think it's a big deal.
So, you have no rebuttal?
Then it would seem we are finished here.
It's not like they censored it because Mondo says fuck every other line, so it's what they chose, though. So I don't really see the big deal. When I want to hear aho aho aho, I play in Japanese. That's what I do. At least it's dual audio. How did I do? A. Yay! I got an A. Nice! You were close.
Looks like you've reached your verdict. Then are we ready to cast our votes? You all have a lever in front of you. Use it to make your selection.
Whoa.
Oh, just to remind you all...
Why was Monokuma, like, flipping out in the corner?
Make triple sure you vote for someone. You wouldn't want to be punished for something so minor, right? Okay, then let's get excited! Who will be chosen as the blackened? Will you make the right choice?
Yes.
Or the dreadfully wrong one?
Yes.
What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be?
The drawings are cute. Uh-oh! Looks like you got it right on the money! The blackened in this case, the one that killed Sayaka, was none other than Leon Kawada!
Huh?
It's 12 a.m. for me too.
Hold on.
Hold on a second. Leon, did you really kill Sayaka? But I don't believe it!
You son of a bitch!
Son of a bitch, what the hell is wrong with you?
I didn't have a choice.
It was Killer B killed.
So, that's why...
I killed her first.
None of you are any different!
One wrong step and you'd be the one standing here. It was complete chance that I wound up like this.
I was just... unlucky. That's all. Hey! Come on!
You expect me to just accept my death? Everything's become clear. The decision we made was right after all. Was right after all, derp. But when I think about it, Honestly, I'd be better off if we'd been wrong.
Good night, Biss.
Because if what we came up with really is the truth, then that truth is that Sayaka was trying to frame me. But even if that's true, I can't say she was wrong. After all, the mastermind. It's all because of that video. Even I couldn't handle what I saw in there. If I was her and the video actually had something to do with me, I can't even imagine.
Now we're trapped here, with no way out. They're probably waiting for me.
Why? Why?
I can't afford to be stuck here!
The one thing that was more important to her than anything else. Her dreams, her friends. To have to see something like that happen to them. And Sayaka.
I did whatever it took to reach that dream. I mean it. Even some things that weren't so pleasant.
And that's why Sayaka, for the friends that meant so much to her, that's why she betrayed me. So, when she said,
No matter what happens, please always be there for me. I need you on my side.
she was lying to me from the very beginning. She was using me. Is that why she talked to me in the first place? I guess I'll never know. Because there's nothing I can do to ask her what she was thinking. Once you're dead, that's that.
Boy, howdy! The entertainment industry must sure be terrifying, huh? I mean, to try and kill someone just because of those relationships. She seemed so nice and lovely on the outside, but inside she'd descended into pure madness.
What did you say?
I understand, really I do. Yup. You're in utter despair thanks to Sayaka's betrayal, right? Compassion, intimacy, love. The stronger those feelings, the stronger the despair when they collapse.
Stop screwing with us! This is all your fault! Sayaka being forced to do something like that? All of it! Everything! It's all your fault! Suddenly in a frenzy, I lunged at Monokuma. But...
That's enough.
As angry as I was, Kyoko latched onto my arm without hesitation. Her grip was like iron. Strong enough I was sure it would leave a bruise.
Calm down.
If you really want to make her enemies pay for what they've done, you need to let it go for now.
Damn it!
That was a close one. I thought for sure you were going to give me a good walloping. Just barely avoided punishment, you did.
Yes, indeed.
Now then, since you so magnificently revealed the identity of the killer during the class trial, the blackened Leon Kuwata will receive his punishment.
Punishment? You mean execution? Wait a second!
I didn't have a choice. I had to kill her.
Yeah, that's it.
I was just protecting myself in the heat of the moment. It was self-defense.
Is that okay?
How exactly was it self-defense? When you forced your way into the bathroom, did you or did you not use your very own toolkit? After she'd shut herself in the bathroom, you went out of your way to head back to your own room. Then you came all the way back, broke into the bathroom, and killed her. Am I wrong?
Do you understand?
You had any number of chances to stop what you were doing, but you chose not to. Is it not because you had an unclouded intent to commit murder?
So, that's
No, that's not... Stop it. I've had enough of this.
Oh, are you sure? You were closer to her than anyone, were you not? He killed your precious Sayaka, do you understand?
I can't say Leon is solely to blame. Of course, I don't plan on blaming Sayaka either. Because the one to blame is him.
Swa?
If it weren't for you, this never would have happened to Sayaka or Leon. We shouldn't be fighting each other. We should be fighting against the one who put us in this situation, the mastermind.
Unbelievable.
Uh-oh, did you awaken to your sense of justice?
Hey,
Well, it just so happens that there's nothing more unethical than an unwavering sense of justice. After all, it's people with that sort of mentality that perpetuate war all over the world. Is that the kind of justice that's awakened within you?
Just shut up! Okay, well anyway, more importantly...
Thrills! Chills! Kills!
Let's hurry up and get to what everyone's been waiting for. The punishment.
I'm begging you! Please, don't do this!
Hey!
No more begging!
Come on now!
No more excuses! You must pay the penalty for breaking the rules. Society demands it.
Stop! Please!
Now then, I've prepared a very special punishment!
For Leon Kawata, the ultimate baseball star.
No, 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 no!
Let's give it everything we've got! It's punishment time!
Stop it.
No!
What we saw. That was the true face of despair. I mean, if we can't call it that, what else could we call it?
Extreme!
Man, my adrenaline's pumping right out of control! What's going on?
I can't take it.
Do we really have to keep doing this? I just can't take it!
Well?
Well, hey, if you don't like it... all you gotta do is swear to cut all ties with the outside world and accept living here forever. But that's only if every single one of you can get on board with that.
Damn you!
Fuck you! Why the fuck are you doing all this evil shit to us?
What the heck?
Evil? You make it sound like I'm some dark, awful secret society type of guy.
Say what?
Or in this case, a dark, awful secret society type of bear.
Well...
So why are you putting an upstanding young citizen like me through such a grueling ordeal?
Hey,
It seems like you're trying to use common sense to make sense of something that doesn't make sense. That's like trying to put a mile on a scale. I just don't think it's possible. Hey, I don't think what you're saying and what I'm saying quite fit together. You piece of shit. I don't know who you are, but I'm gonna pound your ass into the ground. Mondo, can I have a word with you about your choice of words? Because that's what you just said. Okay. You must really hate me to get so angry, huh? But if you do that, you're barking way up the wrong tree. What happened because more than one of you decided you wanted to get out, right? No matter how much time passes, you can't cut free of your regrets from the outside world. You're to blame. Of course we can't cut free of the outside world. Being trapped in this insane place. You're trapped, are you? Well, I'm sure once you learn all the mysteries of this school, your thinking will change for sure. You'll think, boy, isn't it so wonderful how we all get to live here forever?
What does this mean?
What are you trying to say?
Hey.
I feel like there's some deeper meaning hidden in there. Just like before.
Thrills, chills, kills!
Anyway, let's get back to the Blackened's punishment. That's what everyone's waiting for, after all.
Hey.
When you said everyone, who exactly are you referring to? Sorry, I said everything I've got to say. I need to save some of the fun for later. And just like that, he was gone. He left us there, overwhelmed by a nightmare turned reality. Even after he was gone, we stood there forever, unable to move. Actually, no. It wasn't that long, I think. Everyone just lost their sense of time. We were all too scared. Scared of being alone. No one even tried to speak. Their faces were stone, their voices dead. But it was in that moment.
Just a second.
Makoto, can I talk to you for a second? She moved in close and whispered into my ear.
Makoto.
Before we head back, there's something I want to talk to you about. It's about Sayaka, isn't it? I'm surprised you figured it out.
Listen.
I told you before the class trial started. You had to figure out the mystery of this case yourself. You wanted me to realize how Sayaka betrayed me by myself, didn't you? The thought never even crossed my mind. I feel like such a fool, becoming such an easy target like that. Such an easy target thing to serve. Sayaka meant to double-cross you. That's a fact you can never change. But even till the very end, she wasn't sure of her decision. That's why, as she lay dying, she was thinking of you. She was thinking of me? You can't just say something like that. I mean, there's no way you can know that. Only Sayaka would know for sure, and we can't even ask her now.
However...
Even if you can't ask her, you can infer it, don't you think? Her final thought was how she could protect you. What?
So...
The fact that she used her last ounce of energy to leave her dying message proves it. If she didn't care what happened to you, she never would have left that message. Well, maybe she just wanted to get back at the person who had killed her.
Certainly.
That's certainly one possibility. But I don't think that's what it was.
Anyway...
She was uncertain. She wasn't sure she could kill someone or deceive you, which is why her plan failed. Her hesitation attracted failure.
Right.
It's almost ironic when you think about it. Why are you telling me all this? Because you're the kind of person who can overcome this. Because you can move past the deaths of your friends, Sayaka and Leon, and keep moving forward.
Correct.
Without someone like that, the others would never be able to break free of such a desperate situation. Move past their deaths? I can never do that. No. I'm going to carry them with me the rest of my life. How could I possibly move past something like that? Leon, Sayaka, I'll carry them with me forever. I'll carry their memories with me wherever I go. So instead of forgetting them, you're choosing the hard road. Well, I have high expectations for you. As she said that, she revealed the smallest smile.
Hey.
By the way, I have to admit, I'm curious. How did you know I wanted to talk to you about Sayaka? Oh, well... I'm psychic.
What?
Huh? Kidding, I just have pretty good intuition. Aw, Nike. "12 students remaining." receive the Despair Bat present.